Hello, and thank you for joining us. We're so grateful that we are coming off just a wonderful season, our 18th season. Welz, it was your first year with us, and gosh, it went well, didn't it?
And not just all things considered with COVID and everything else, it just really went well. Musically, first class. The only disappointment, which is going to be rectified next season, is that we had to postpone Jocelyn Hagen's piece. But you'll talk about how we're going to have even a bigger deal about that, which is exciting.
But I want to express our thanks on behalf of all of the organization for your role in the success of this season. Coming out of COVID and being such a part of our team in terms of all of our protocols and making the concerts run smoothly and keeping everybody safe, because really that was paramount. I mean, we're in this to make beautiful music, but this year we also really were focused on keeping everybody safe. So thank you for your part in that.
And for your enthusiasm for the artists and the programs themselves, because it's all very fine and well to have protocols and be dealing with COVID, and we're going to continue doing that. That's not over. And so we will be informing all of you as we learn new things and continue to watch the science. But the enthusiastic part of it, of things like Jake's piece, right? I mean, that amazing response, that glorious moment where the singers themselves came to you and said, could we sing the Ukrainian national anthem? I mean, there were these special things that happened that were not planned, that were spontaneous, that added to what the musical experience was. But I realized as the newbie, that's what True Concord's all about. Is things get rehearsed, people are really talented, but then there's room for those kinds of magic moments. The magic moment of Jake and Todd talking about how they created their work about climate change, taking them to Biosphere 2, exploring our new relationship with Monzo Elementary School, all really great things.
Well, this is True Concord, right? Because it's the bringing together of everybody, and it's not just the performers, it's the audience and the community. And so we are grateful.
And the t-shirts.
Well, yes, right.
More on that later.
Yes. We are super excited to be rolling out and announcing our 19th season, Out of This World. And I gotta say, this brochure is out of this world. Welz, thank you so much for your part in making this beautiful piece that describes a season that I'm really excited about, and we want to talk about that season. So why Out of This World, if I could preempt your question?
No, well, yeah, this is the question.
This just, it speaks, I think, of bigness. It's like this is out of the ordinary. It's out of the mundane. It takes us out of the realm of tragedy and challenge and difficulties that we're surrounded with every day. I mean, terrible things happening in our world, and yet music has the power to heal and bring people together and bring joy. And it's a sort of out of the world experience. And so that's, I think, the overriding idea behind the theme. But, just starting with this first concert,
if I could say, because Eric came up with this tagline, which is a really wonderful slogan, motto, whatever one wants to say. But the group effort, and it definitely was a group effort to get this beautiful piece, this beautiful brochure done. If you look at the cover, it has a certain flamboyance to it. And that directly derives out of an expression like Out of This World, which is something that is so commonly said today, it almost becomes meaningless. Within the context of this season and the beautiful programs you put together, it has tremendous meaning.
Oh, thanks, Welz. So let's talk about the season.
You write the check for me too, right?
Yes. So the first season right out of the gate, a piece by Tim Takash called Helios. I'm really excited about this piece. It was recently premiered in the Twin Cities. It is a
by
piece...
our buddy, by Matt.
That's right, Matt Holtan with the singers. And it's a piece that explores the wonders of our solar system, the planets, the sun, the moon. And it's a compilation of texts by various authors that get at the mystery and the awe of this wonderful place that we call home, this planet and this solar system. And
the mythological part of the planets as well. So in the same way that Holst was more focused on Greek and Roman mythology when he wrote his planets. This is both pieces together, which allows for so many possibilities in terms of, how do we get the planetarium at the University of Arizona involved? How do we get the world's best astronomy school, which is at the University of Arizona, connected to us? How can we continue to grow our relationship with Biosphere 2, which by its very nature is about all of the world, but especially the worlds that are above and beyond us? And certainly, I think Out of This World, your tagline, directly relates to this. I think you had said earlier, audiences, all of our folks will be getting more in-depth descriptions of each of the 6 programs, right?
Definitely.
So we're doing a kind of quick, down and dirty overview right now.
A little overview. Are you trying to tell me to move on, or?
I'm not, because don't forget the Beethoven.
So yes, this is a tour de force for unaccompanied choir. Really shows off the voices, this Helios of Tim Takash, and we're pairing it with the finale from Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, utilizing the transcription for piano. Little showcase.
One of the transcriptions for piano.
Yes, sure,
Many.
I might argue that
The
it's
best.
the transcription for piano.
It is.
That will feature our wonderful accompanist, Alexander Tenser. So, and the connection there is, the text from the Beethoven, "Seek him in the heavens, above the stars must he dwell." So, truly out of this world stuff. Next, we move into November, which explores one of the genres in choral music. It's like the 3 M's. We have, where I come from, there's the 3M, the company that made the...
Minnesota Mining and something.
Yes, well, I just think of Post-it notes.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But anyway, there's...
Manufacturing and mining, I don't know.
Something like that. There's motets, there's madrigals, and masses, and all the great composers, wrote for these genres. And we're going to explore one of them in depth and sort of take a tour through this genre of the motet. This is going to be anchored by Bach and Brahms and Bruckner. These are some of the biggies. Bach wrote, we have 6 extant motets of Bach. We've performed 3 of them. This is going to be Singet dem Herrn, another tour de force for double choir, and it's an incredible piece of incredible complexity and beauty. And then we have Brahms, his Warum ist das Licht gegeben? It's just sumptuous music. He wrote, I believe, 13 motets. We've performed 1 of them, and this is probably his finest. And then Bruckner, I think he wrote about 40 motets. We've performed 2 of them. This is another one of his most famous, Os Justi. But those are the 3 biggies, but we're going to take a journey to include, a journey through this genre to include works through all of the musical epochs as we explore this wonderful medium.
And I think as we think about Out of This World, I think once one delves into the arena of the sacred, you are out of this world. In a similar way that as we get to February and Haydn's Creation, or March and Rachmaninoff's Vespers, these are not the same programs. They are completely different musical languages. Your motets program, the Haydn and the Rachmaninoff. But in terms of that overarching Out of This World, they all lend themselves to that sacred part of it, as in a way does the holiday program.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, and did I mention Mozart's Ave Verum Corpus?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be 3 minutes of the most sublime music ever written. So then we go to our annual Lessons and Carols by Candlelight. This is one of my favorite concerts every year, and it's unique to Tucson with its Lessons and Carols format. But I just like Christmas music. I don't know about you.
I love holiday music as well, and yes, it comes directly from 19th century tradition from King's College.
King's
Cambridge?
College been doing it for 100 years plus. Broadcast all over the world to millions of listeners, and we do it right here in Tucson. It's a one of a kind right here locally.
So would you say it's sort of the Downton Abbey of holiday concerts?
Ooh, now that's a good thought. Yes. But it's got that.
We just have to pay a royalty now.
It's sophisticated and elegant, but it really gets at the heartstrings because everybody gets to sing along on their favorite carols that they grew up with, and it's just a feel good event.
I took a bunch of people last year to a variety of venues because all the venues are wonderful, and to a person they all said, "Oh, I'm not going to sing along. I'll just enjoy it."
Yeah,
they all sing along.
Oh yeah, you can't help it.
Some of them I said, maybe not. But, there's always next year.
But you highlighted a great point. We'll be doing these concerts as we usually do in some of the most exquisite churches around
Definitely.
town.
Definitely.
Okay, so you alluded to it earlier. Finally, we are able to premiere this work that Jocelyn Hagen has written for us. I brought it along because it's such a cool cover. This is, have you seen this?
I have.
I mean, this is a sketch of Jocelyn. I just love it. And the title of the work, Here I Am. It's a powerful piece that quotes 47 different women. This is a piece I commissioned of Jocelyn to commemorate the passage of the 19th Amendment, the centenary of the passage of the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. It celebrates voices of women, and there are 47 different women in here.
And young girls, too.
Indeed. And speaking of young girls, we're going to be collaborating with the Tucson Girls Chorus on this because when I went to Jocelyn with this idea, I said, we want to celebrate the women, the voices of the women who have shaped who we are today. But I also want to include the voices of the girls and women who are going to shape the future.
That's right.
So really excited about this. And we've got superstar guest soprano Susanna Phillips from the Met going to join us. She'll be the featured soloist on this piece, but she's also singing Mozart's incredible Exultate Jubilate, which is one of the top 10 solo cantatas ever written. So really thrilled to do that in partnership with Tucson Desert Song Festival.
And should we just remind people or let them know if they don't know this, who Jocelyn is married to?
Oh yeah, right. Tim DeCash.
It's a twofer, folks.
This has to be a first, that we are going to be showcasing the musical works of a couple, Tim and Jocelyn, and super cool people.
Wonderful people.
Just smart, caring, super talented.
Tim's one of the core singers.
He is. And so he'll actually be singing on Jocelyn's piece. He asked me, he said, Eric, do you want me singing on my piece? And I said, well, Tim, that's kind of you to offer. I figured you'd probably want to be out in the hall.
Out in the hall. And speaking of out in the hall, folks might want to know about the projections for his program and Jocelyn's.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit.
So in case of the Jocelyn's, and a lot of people have already known this because we've already promoted it when we were hoping to do it, and then COVID knocked it back, but the 47 females who are involved, there's a portrait, a visual portrait of each of them, and those will be shown on slides. We'll also have an exhibit of some of the paintings at the Hotel Congress, we hope, for a couple of months leading up to the performances at the end of January. In Tim's case, he's commissioned a wonderful visual artist who's just begun to eke out some of the things. I just saw some of them yesterday.
Cool.
I don't think we can release them yet because she's still fiddling with them, but Deborah Johnson is the artist. She's a fantastic person. For those of you that are dog lovers, she's bringing her dog to Tucson to spend time with us, and it'll be the world premiere of those projections with Tim's piece. So as Eric said, the piece has been done before in Minneapolis with the Singers, which, if people don't know, the Singers is the descendant of the Dale Worland Singers, right? And one of the great, along with the Robert Shaw Chorale and what's his name? Roger Wagner's chorale, one of the great American choirs, with Singular Choir, with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir and things like that. So,
yeah. So moving right along, February, you already said it, Haydn Creation. I just love this from the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
So we performed Haydn Creation back in 2009. We're due to do it again. It's because it's one of those works that just needs to be done every so many years. This is arguably Haydn's greatest work.
Which is saying a lot.
It is. I mean, the guy who's the father of the symphony
yes.
and the string quartet.
String quartet.
I mean, this work is the pinnacle, I think, and not just for him, but in the genre. I mean, we talked about motets and madrigals and masses. There's also the oratorio.
Yes.
And of course, Handel's Messiah is probably the most performed oratorio in the world.
Because that part when you stand up.
That's right. But this is right up there. I would say Handel Messiah, Mendelssohn Elijah, and Haydn Creation are the three biggies. And it's a real privilege and an honor to be around this music that is a tour de force for both the orchestra and the choir and the soloists. And thankfully, we've got full talent in all those.
And I think people probably know this, but the oratorio, the creation of it as a genre, really came out of a banning of opera. So Handel was writing operas like crazy, and then those who in power, especially those involved with the church, felt that opera was too salacious and too sexy and too all of those kinds of things. So he started writing these oratorios on biblical themes, but they are as dramatic as any of his operas. And the creation, which many people think is Haydn's Messiah, in terms of grandeur, in terms of greatness, and in terms of just sheer beauty of music. And the marvelous soloists from True Concord will be performing this great music.
Indeed, indeed. We cap off the season, our season
indeed.
proper,
Yes,
with
indeed.
Rachmaninoff Vespers. This is also a piece that we performed previously back in 2013. But again, one of those masterworks that needs to be performed every so many years because it's just such stunning music. And this could be considered the tour de force for unaccompanied choirs. It's masterful in its conception and its complexity, but it's stunning in its beauty and impact.
It definitely is. And I was going to say this earlier when you made the same comment. It's a great comment that just needs to be done.
Yeah.
That's for audience and for the artists,
Absolutely.
right? And for yourself.
Yes.
This is something that refreshes. Bernstein and Shaw, they both shared this statement, when they would do pieces they'd done a lot, Mahler's symphonies, Mendelssohn Elijah, both would get on the podium in front of an orchestra and a chorus and say, page one, every single time, as if they had never touched it before. And I know you take the same approach. And I think that's important for audiences to know that these are truly special occasions. The creation can be something that within a European choir, chorus, and orchestra institution would be a very big rarity because it's a hard thing to pull off and do. So it is not done without great thought. It's not just, you don't just push a button and say it's going to happen. It takes, everything in the season is that case. But can we go back to the brochure for a second? Because some people have asked me, why are these, what are these? Well, these are the slices of the 6 programs. So Tim's Helios, the Motets program, Lessons and Carols for the Holidays, Susanna Phillips, this is not a Bond girl, though she looks like one, The Creation, and then this incredible Santa Sofia, I think it is, from Kyiv, from Ukraine, a church that Rachmaninoff himself knew very, very well. We don't know that he ever had his Vespers performed there, but because he loved the city, and because we are now getting more and more aware, for horrible reasons, but we're more aware of the fact that Heifetz had Ukrainian roots, Leonard Bernstein had Ukrainian roots, Aaron Copland, Bob Dylan. I mean, so many artists of so many types, and Rachmaninoff definitely fit into that as well. So those are the slices, folks. That's what's going on.
And we should mention the close-up series.
Please.
So this is...
Are we going to give a little heads up that maybe something might happen?
We could give a little teaser.
Okay, go for it.
Well, first, I just want to talk about the fact that we've got Susanna Phillips in featured recital, thanks to our partnership with Tucson Desert Song Festival.
And her wonderful pianist.
Yes. So Christopher Cano, who we're fortunate to have right here
in Tucson,
with the Arizona.
The whole state of Arizona.
That's right. Just a wonderful program that she's planned. But 2 of our very own, Emily Marvish and Edward Vogel, 2 knockout soloists in terms of their talent and their poise and presence on stage. We feature them many times as soloists in our main stage concerts. Here we finally get to showcase them in solo performances. I'm really excited about it. And we were going to talk about those programs where we're going to have them.
Yes, so this is a new series. You started it when?
Well, actually, it was
before last.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a brand new fledgling opportunity that has all sorts of different motivations, the most important of which is to have great artists perform this very specific kind of genre of music making. Not everybody is built to do a recital, and I mean that about both singers and instrumentalists, right? There are some pianists who are great playing concertos who never want to play a recital. There are singers who on the opera stage cannot be topped, but the recital format is just not something that they're interested in. It doesn't mean they can't do it. These 3 are built to make it happen, and great soloists with True Concord. One of the things that I learned in my time in LA is that the venue itself for a recital, in other words, for anything that's intimate, could be string quartet, could be a violin recital, could be a medieval group of a small amount of singers, could be a vocal recital, right? If you move it out of the regular concert hall into a place that might be somewhat unexpected, but still have good acoustics and still be a great musical experience, yes, you might have a different kind of audience, but more important than that, you have a different kind of experience all the way around. So we're not quite there yet. It'll be coming out in one of our magnificent e-blasts from our engagement specialist, Chantel. And hopefully that'll be happening pretty soon because there's some calendar dates we need to get deadlines to.
Sure.
So we're in the process of that right now. And it's exciting actually to think about where in Tucson one might do it. Of course, Holtan Hall is a great venue.
It is.
Little fewer than 200 seats. It's got that magnificent organ, which adds a resonance to the place that's so great. Intimate, all those kinds of things. But there are other spaces that it could work as well. If you think about the best recital venue in New York City right now is the Park Avenue Armory. Not the huge drilling stage, which is gigantic, and you could put a B-1 bomber into it, but rather the front rooms, which are gorgeous and have beautiful furniture and all sorts of things. Intimate, great pianos, high ceilings, wonderful acoustics. That's where people are really wanting to do recitals right now. We don't have a space exactly like that, but we're looking for that kind of experience.
Yeah, so keep your eyes on an email message soon.
Yes.
Well, thank
We
you
call
for...
them e-blasts in the
Well,
world today.
thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
Remember, Chantel's around here and she might.
Thank you for a great first year, Welz.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me be part of this.
So great to have you on board.
Can we thank Josh and Chantel?
Please.
We work with these two youngsters, and they are phenomenally, prodigiously talented and hardworking, but they also have something that is simply not teachable, which is their affinity for music and love of audiences and people. You've probably all met them as you come and get your tickets, or you see them in the hall, walking around, dealing with the ushers and things like that in the front of house staff. They're always available, they're always really nice, and they're unflappable when things start to go wrong. And trust me, with COVID, things have gone wrong. And it's just gonna happen. So we're very happy to have both of them on the team.
Yep. And again, thank you to all of you for your support. We wish you a healthful and safe and joy-filled summer, and we look forward to seeing you next season.
Indeed.